Greetings, fellow village builders. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Medieval Dynasty. Episode 6, Hiring a Villager and Assigning Him Work. Did I have a spare hammer? I think this is my last hammer, right? Yeah, so I'll be making wooden hammers after this, which get used up pretty quick, but, you know, I don't have a better option yet.
Dang, it's hot.
Now, it would be faster if I was just grabbing stones off the ground to build these objects, but all of this copper ore I'm amassing is going to make me wealthy, which will allow me to buy the seeds and fertilizer and tools that I need to support basic farming. So, although this is a little slower, in the long run, it's going to help a lot more. I can also drop all the copper ore here. It won't decay. It won't go anywhere. Copper ore does not rot or oxidize. So I can always come back for it. Oh, you came here from YouTube and this is one of your favorite games? Perfect. Well, welcome. Pleasure to have you here. If my hammer's about to break, I can make a wooden hammer out of logs and sticks. So let's go grab our wooden axe and cut down one of these trees so that I have a replacement hammer.
I'm roasting out of here.
Although I should have probably put my stone away because I'm going to be really encumbered in a moment. Oh well. And I'll leave the stumps here.
Dang, it's hot.
Oh, the work needed to be done for our first villager. It's a big effort, ain't it? All right, wooden hammer. Cool. And it broke. As I said, it was about to happen. So after we get a farmer, we're probably going to want another house for someone that works the well, so that I don't have to manually collect water buckets. And then from there on after, we could get another woodcutter, perhaps, or I can leave it up to you. But a woodcutter might make the most sense so that I don't have to cut so many trees down myself. We can outsource some of that work as well. Which is really important when you're having to heat people in the winter with wood. So I'll cut down a few more trees and then go back into the mines. We're almost done with everything we need to support a farmer. And then the last thing we're going to want is to make sure that the farmer has tools. So one of the big things I am missing is a sickle. I don't have a sickle for them to cut down the flax field. So when I go into town to hire someone to move to our village to work as a farmer, I'm probably also going to want to buy a sickle, unless I want to make actually, in my case, I'll just make a whole bunch of stone sickles, because the advantage of making a bunch of stone sickles is I'll level up my production skill. And it's free. It's just annoying to have to do. But leveling up my production skill right now is probably more important than anything else, because higher production skill will allow me to start smithing copper tools. So 1 log, 2, 3, 4, 5 more logs. So 1 full maple tree, and we have all the logs we need. I don't want to. I'm gonna leave those maple trees though, so I'll go after the maple trees across the river. And then the rest of it is just some stone and straw. Oops, wrong key. There we go. Wait, I keep grabbing the random bag. I need to leave that alone. So one of the rules that I have, self-imposed, is that I'm not going to be forcing people to live together. The game allows you to put 1 male and 1 female in the same house together, provided that they're both adults, which adulthood in this game is 18. You wouldn't be able to move like a 16-year-old girl in with like a 18-year-old man or something like that. But in my case, I'm not going to like play matchmaker. If people get engaged or court each other, NPCs that is, then they can move into the same house, but I'm not, again, going to be forcing it. So it's going to be 1 house per person until they couple up, which is a little bit harder, but a self-imposed rule that I'm going to follow all the same. So once we have the farmer's house, we'll go and look for a... Ooh, nice. We unlocked our workshop. We'll go and look for a farmer. So the workshop is like... I mentioned this before, but it's for pottery and woodworking. To be able to make things like wooden bowls, which you need for meals, wooden cups, which you need for drinks, wooden buckets, which you need for working the well, things of that nature. So that's what the workshop does. It's, I wouldn't say vitally important to get a workshop early on, but one of the advantages of getting a workshop early on is you can mass produce something made out of wood to level up your production skill to be able to unlock a smithy. So, although if I do get a workshop early on, I will be paying taxes on it. It might help me to make more money in the long run, because the workshop's gonna give me the income to be, or the technology skill to be able to make a smithy. And you make more money off of a tailor hut and smithy than you do a workshop. Is there a way to increase your carry capacity? Yes, but I don't have access to it yet. Backpacks and pouches. I could go into town and buy them, but they're really expensive. And they're expensive enough that if I bought them, I would be likely unable to afford the seeds and fertilizer that I would need to support a farmer. So although it's inconvenient, I'm going to be doing everything manual for now. So all we need left is straw for the roof and stone for the walls. We're almost done with that house. Does your village get attacked? Possibly. Not usually. But if you build a village close to a lot of like dangerous predator wild animals, yes, you could be attacked. And then there are bandits that can mess with you. But they generally aren't gonna bother. Unless you lure them back to your village or something like that. So there's the copper I dropped before. I'm going to leave that for now because I'm just after stone. So here's a copper vein. Hey, Birdman, thank you for the sub. Do the NPCs move themselves or do I have to do it? What do you mean? When I build a house, I'm going to have to go find an NPC to move in. Yes. They don't just like show up. And I prefer it that way because NPCs have skills. So I wouldn't want my first NPC to show up to have like no farming skill. That would suck. Oh, when they couple up? No, you have to move them in together. All right, so we got 30 copper ore that we can pick up later. I'm just leaving it there. Because it's heavy. I am doing a hell of a lot of cardio. So 8 straw, 4 straw, 8 straw, 8 straw. So yep, the rest is just straw. This house is all but finished, just about. And you can see why early game it's really important to live near thrush, live near where you can collect straw. Later on, it's less important because you won't be building roofs out of straw. You'll be building roofs out of wood tiles or wood, because they offer better insulation anyway. But I don't have access to that yet, so straw it is. So I need 28 straw, I think, to finish this off. There we go. Is there a way to increase stamina? Yeah. There's skills for just about everything. I just haven't leveled up. And there's also food I can consume to help with that as well. So complex meals will provide bigger benefits, or complex drinks will provide bigger benefits. There's stamina potions that I could consume. There is dandelions that I could eat. There's a bunch of different ways to help with stamina. And to help with basically every status condition too. Alright, we have an empty house. So we are ready to hire a farmer. So the current priority right now is bring goods to market and hire a farmer. I'm also going to want to buy a scythe so that the farmer can harvest the flax. A sickle is probably cheaper, so probably buy a sickle, not a scythe. So before I go into market, I'm going to drop off my pick, drop off my shovel, drop off my axe, drop off my hammer. Instead, I'm going to bring my bow. I'm going to bring my spear. I'm going to bring my copper arrows. All of them. I am going to sell the flour because I don't really have anything to do with the flour yet. I'm going to sell my rye beer, my plum wine. These sticks can go into general storage. The rye grain into general storage, the unripe berries into general storage or food storage. Same with the feathers. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. There's a lot of things in my inventory or in my personal storage here that don't make sense. Copper hoe, I'm going to put into the general storage as well. I'm going to bring a knife with me. And everything else can stay here. Alright, dropped off here is the hoe. The rye grain. The stone. The sticks. Berries don't belong in there. And keep everything else on me. Let's equip the spear, the bow, and the arrows, and the knife. I forgot to drop off the feathers. Now, I don't have the recipe for bread, which is why I'm going to potentially sell the flour, because it's worth more. I just can't use it before it rots. So it doesn't make sense to hold on to. All right, before I go into town, I'd also like to hit up that ruin or whatever it was across the river. You know, I'm going to want as much money going into town as possible. Now, to hire villagers, there are a bunch of migrants in this area because the area is war-torn. So I don't need to pay people to move in. I use my Dynasty reputation to move them in. But I will need to buy a scythe at the very least when I go into town, because I don't have a scythe for the farmer to harvest the flax. And then I'll probably need another hoe. Well, actually, I was going to make a sickle. Right, stone sickles. I forgot about that. I keep stupid braining. Yep, that's the term I'm using. All right, so what's here that could be sold? I'm just looking around to see if there's other stuff. Ooh, leather. A bunch of dead boars that I can skin. We got bronze spears, which, the nicest of them I will use myself, and then the other two I'll sell. Stone arrows, don't really care about stone arrows. Let's go ahead and skin these bad boys. This was like a abandoned hunter's hut.
Dang, it's hot.
Now the leather I'm getting from this would be better put to use turning it into a processed good, like the simple bags I can make. That's going to be worth more than just the leather alone. There's potions of healing and furs. A bow that I can sell. More potions, a stone knife. Stone knives barely sell at all, especially broken ones, but might as well grab it. Ramrez, thank you for the sub. And 100 coin, or 98 coin. Pretty nice. Just making sure I didn't miss anything.
Dang, it's hot.
I don't see anything under the building or around the building. That was a pretty good haul. Handcraft, simple bags, make 13. So all the leather I just got out of that shed, I'm turning into simple bags that I can bulk sell in town. And I think it just told me that I leveled up enough of my technology, my production technology. Cool. All right, town. We've already gone to Astoya. I'm going to head into the main town because they have a wider variety of merchants. And we're just selling basically everything we have on us and then buying... I don't think we'll be buying anything. We'll just have like stone tools for now. I don't want to spend coin on nicer tools. So the meat I've got, I'm going to drop on the ground here so that it rots. Because the intention is to, in order to fertilize the fields we have out there, I would like to avoid buying fertilizer, if at all possible.
I'm roasting out here.
Alright, I should collect dandelions if I could find it. Dandelions are like stamina buffs to eat. Chicory is food buffs, daisies is water buffs, St. John's wort is poison cure. I've been through this building already. I'm like straight up blacking out, I'm so tired.
I'm roasting out here.
And you can see the edge of town already. The other thing I'm probably going to want to do before I try to talk to anyone to move into my village is I shouldn't be filthy. Because looking disgusting does not encourage them to want to move. So there we go. Took a little bath. All you got to do is wade through a little bit of water and you're all tidied up. Of course, sprinting into town might, you know, filth me up a bit. But I should probably be able to get into town before that happens. Is there less chance of encountering bandits if you use the road? Actually, more. The bandits usually terrorize roads. So if you're going through the woods, you're less likely to run into them. Alright. There was no summer crops that I think we were going to sow. If I'm not mistaken. I wonder if I can go through the knowledge base here for that. Let's see. Poisoning. Cabbage was the only summer crop and I didn't want them. Yeah. So I'm not really worried about buying seeds here. So instead, what I want to do is I want to hire people. And in order to, like...
How is life? Good luck.
Stop panting like I'm dying, maybe I, like, buy a simple hat. But it might be too late. I think it's too late. It's too late in the day and no one's going to want to talk to me. Yep. Not interested in talking to me right now. So at this hour, like, maybe the person working the bar will talk to me. And I do have stuff to sell, so let's go chat up the people working the bar. And that's not you. It's not you. Where's the bartender? Oh, there he is. Alright. Luckily for me, the bartender's willing to buy anything. So, have a brown spear, have another brown spear, have some flour. I'm going to keep the fur. Have some plum wine, night vision potion, temperature potion, rye beer. Have some sticks. Have 13 bags. And stone knife and stone arrow and wooden spear. That's everything. And I have about 1,000 coin now. Alright, I forget. I think we hire people where I marked them down over there. There should be like a migrant camp outside of town of people looking for villages. So, I think they're over this way. Yep, there they are. You can see on the mini-map, there's a bunch of little silhouettes of people. At this hour, I'm not going to be able to buy any seeds. The vendor for that is sleeping, so I'll have to come back later. But I still have a rye field. I still have a flax field ready to be harvested, so hiring a farmer now is still beneficial. So here we go. Using the inspector mode, I can see their skills. So she has a farming of 2. He has a farming of 3. So Nysad is the best farmer so far. He's probably going to be the best. Usually you only have up to 3. Farming a 1. And that's the third stat. So if you're wondering about your skills, you've got extraction, hunting, farming. So the farming is the third skill in that row. Survival and production. Diplomacy, survival, production. So 2, 2. So of all these people, you are the best farmer.
How is life?
So I'm creating a new settlement. I'm looking for good people willing to join me. Say no more, the opportunity I was waiting for. Good to see. Good to have you. You can accommodate every newcomer in the house of your choosing. Keep in mind that only man and woman can be grouped together in house. And consequentially, they'll have babies. So this is an important stat. If you put men and women together, you're basically forcing them to couple up, and when the woman is pregnant and nursing, they won't be in your workforce. So to save on having to build houses, you can put potential couples in them. But if you do that, you're going to lose the woman to the workforce a few seasons later. And for a while, too. So, I think pregnancy is in here somewhere. But yeah, adults are 18 to 55, and adults will get pregnant, and they'll have children, and go on maternity leave, and, you know.
House?
So in this case, what I want to do here is Nysad is, well, sad. He doesn't have a home. So if I go to the homes here, in this simple home, I can go, details, call it Nysad, because that's where he's going to live. Click on it, go to the empty slot, and assign him. Accept. So now, he has a home. Very quickly, he will have the status of no food, water, or wood disappear. It's just that he just got hired, so it hasn't re-registered. The next thing I want to do is to assign him a job. So I go to farming, go to the farm shed, and assign a worker to Nysad. Now he is going to complain immediately about not having a sickle or scythe. So we're going to run home and make some stone sickle and scythes for him, and maybe some stone hoes to make sure that he has tools. The farm shed can have 4 workers and an apprentice. An apprentice is a child or a minor that shadows the adult. They don't actually provide any benefit, but what happens is during their apprenticeship, they're learning that skill. So if you have like a child who you want to become a farmer, you can assign them as apprentice as long as there's an adult working. You can't have an apprentice without an actual worker. And during their childhood, they'll level up in that skill. All right. The other thing to note is now we owe taxes. At the start of every year, which is like spring day 1, you will owe taxes. And right now we will owe just shy of 70 gold worth of taxes. And this is why you don't want to just be like building willy-nilly, because every single building that you build, you'll owe taxes on. So if you take a look at the houses, it's 2.5 gold for each house. It's 15 gold for the barn. It's 15 gold for the farming shed. It's 10 gold for the food. It's 15 gold for the resource. And it's 5 gold for the well. Every single building will result in increased taxes. So it's really important that you are producing something beneficial with your buildings so that you can pay off your taxes rather than having to grind it for yourself.
Is a basic need, and I demand one.
Yeah, okay. You already have a house, dude.
Hail, friend.
And now you can see his mood's going up because he's housed, he has food, he has water. And if we take a look at the management tab here, I have a supply of 94 food, and there's 30 a day. I have a supply of 200 water, or 195, and there's 30 a day. And then 183 wood, and there's 10 a day. So right now what I want to do is supply the farmer with tools, and then afterwards I'm going to have you guys vote on what you want me to work on. So improving the village would be building another home for a woodcutter or a well worker, or building a workshop. One of those 3. Improving gear would be working on my production skills so I can unlock the smithy. Earning money would be questing. Questing would be questing. And then viewer suggestions. All right, let's go back home. Which is this way. And he'll walk there. He'll get there eventually, and he'll start working. But I need to make some hoes and scythes for him to be productive. They don't work at night. They'll work in the morning. Homes can have free. Do we really know their home? Yes. I literally just explained that. But I will not be forcing couples to couple. So we would need another home. It's in the details, so you can read the details at your leisure. With that said, if the next person works the well or does the wood cutting, that's an extracting skill, and I'm going to be hiring the person most suited for the job. I'm not going to be trying to like couple up people and force couples. That's literally part of the rules. So as a result, if the next person is also a male who's the best resource extractor, we'll have another male in the village. And what are my technologies? So building technology is 308 points because I've been doing a lot of building. And the next building to be unlocked at 500 points is the excavation shed, which allows us to hire a miner to get like copper, limestone, stone, something like that. For survival technologies, we've already unlocked the hunting lodge. And the next one is the herbalist hut, which allows us to make potions. The hunting lodge, the hunter can have them source meat or leather or fur. The next farming is at 50 points to unlock the hen house to provide feather and eggs. And then the next workshop is at 25 for a kitchen and 50 for a smithy. And it looks like you want me to improve the village yet again. So let me write up a follow-up poll. What to build next? So I could build a workshop to level up production. I wouldn't have anyone hired at the workshop, mind you. I could do a woodshed for logs. Well, okay. I could do a house for a new worker. There's no point in having a woodshed without the worker first. So I could build a workshop for production. Let's see, what else is there? I could build a house. And I think that's all I would want to build next. So a workshop for production or a house for a new worker. So choose between those two options. And then the worker, I can have you guys choose what kind of work they do. Whether you want them to work the well or work the work a woodshed or whatever. All right, stone sickle. Let's make 3 of them, and then I'll make 3 stone hoes as well, so that Nysad has plenty of materials to work on or work with. So for these sickles, I can either put them in the resource storage or the farm shed. Both works, but resource storage is like a catch-all. So when in doubt, resource storage. It's just easier. So sickles go in. And then the next thing I need to do is the wooden hose, which I need logs for. So let's cut down some trees for the hose. Does he also need a sack? Not at the moment because he has a bag. Bags are upgraded sacks. Oh, and speaking of which, I can put my bag, my personal bag, over in storage as well. So I'll do that. Because I don't... If possible, I'd like not to have to manage farming anymore. I'm going to completely delegate farming to people, to my villagers, unless they are going to fall behind production. So it's like right at the end of the season and there's just not enough seeds sown. That's when I step in and go, oh, okay, you're not going to get this done in time. I'll contribute. Because the player can do it a lot faster than the NPCs, but if the NPCs can handle it, I want them to handle it. All right, looks like a house for a new worker is the popular choice. Another thing that would be useful for me to do is to acquire a lot of rot because I'm going to need to start fertilizing. I'll probably need to buy some fertilizer and seed, but if I collect a lot of things that can rot this summer, then I can get the ball rolling and not have to continually buy fertilizer going forward. So we'll do 5 hoes, 5 scythes. That should be enough. So what work should the next worker do? Hunt? Because I have access to the hunting shed, right? Yes. So hunt, well, water, or woodcut. I think those are the options available to me. Because I don't need another farmer. So what do you want them to do? And I would build, if it's woodcut or hunt, I would need the associated building. If it's well water, I already have a well. So I don't need another one. Cheers. So now in my storage, I've got a copper hoe, I've got 5 wooden hoes and 3 stone sickles. And let me get a few more stone sickles. But that should keep the NISAD pretty well supplied, at least for now, for materials. Oh, and it's summer season. So one thing you might have noticed is the temporary camp that was here is gone. Right? It's like a seasonal thing. So there's no more of that like miners camp. As the seasons change, what can be found in the wilds will change as well. Now, some of the buildings is more static, so that like ruin up the mountain, that's not going to disappear through season change because like it's a building. But the little shanties and huts and things will change. Birdman, thank you for the gifted subs. Ignifolio and Dead Squall for the resub. Brad Locker for the cheer. You guys are awesome. All right, the farmer is, oops, didn't mean to put my my axe away. The farmer is now supplied, and you guys want me to build a house and hire a woodcutter. So build a house, woodshed, and hire a woodcutter. It doesn't really matter where I build the woodcutter for an extraction. As far as I know, the woodcutter doesn't actually cut trees. They look busy, if you will. And then they supply trees. So it's a weird thing to do. But so what I'm trying to say is I'm going to build a woodshed like up this way. More towards where like the forests are. To simulate the fact that they like live at the edge of town supplying wood. So I'll put a woodcut here, and then I'll put a house for them to live in. Again, a simple stone house. Maybe on wood stilts this time. But I'll put it next to their wood cutting shed. I forgot my hammer. Thank you for tuning in to Medieval Dynasty, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind I've asked for no spoilers, so don't spoil it for anyone else in the comments. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you at next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Medieval Dynasty players.